All right, we are happy to have you as our guest today, and please welcome on board, sir.
Thank you. My name is Wiki. I want to talk about the laws of health and on how we can use the laws of health to bring restoration to the body. There are various underlying factors when we speak about the laws of health. The laws of health, those are the inscribed principles within our system through which the body responds to being healthy. Now, as those people who have an idea of what health really means, we say during perhaps to say it in a clear way, the definition of health according to the World Health Organization, health is something that affects three spheres of man's existence. It affects the mind, it affects the physical, also it affects the spiritual. So man always has to be considered healthy if in the three spheres of his existence he is stable or well-being. So, when we speak about the laws of health, we are considering the various principles through which you can achieve a state of being healthy in those three states. Now, we have what we call the natural eight laws of health, which I may not be able to cover here because of time. Actually, I was not prepared for it. But allow me to say that the body, in a special sense, was created with an ability to restore itself when it has uh, succumb to any disease. So therefore the duty of man is to help the system to bring restoration to herself. The reason why I'm saying that is a disease, okay, allow me to say this, perhaps a disclaimer, but a very important point. Disease is not an enemy to us. Disease is a blessing to us. It all depends on how you view it when you have experienced some disease. For example, when you have an headache, or we say you have a stomach, is that really a disease? You see, we have been programmed in to come to a point whereby we view any response in the body or any normal condition. It gives us an alarm that this is going to kill me, some enemy has come to me. But really, is that supposed to be the case? Now allow me to give an example. What is, for example, stress? Now, stress rather is the natural response of the body to some circumstances or some situations that somebody is found. It can be psychological reaction, it can be physiological reaction, also it can be
Anatomical.
is it biological? That's the best way we can put it. So therefore, when you have stress really is not per se an enemy to you. Stress is the body responding. We have reaction and action what? Forces. So when the body has encountered something, the body has a mechanism to do what? To
To
respond
respond.
back. And that's why those who are the scientists, they say we have the body immune what? System.
System.
So when we have a foreign particle in the system, when we have any foreign pathogen in the system, the body will always be responding to be able to be able to fight this particular organism for the body to be healthy. So therefore, when the body is responding, always there will be various symptoms and signs that the body will produce. For example, if there is any foreign particle within the stomach, so the stomach will start responding by, you see, you start, for example, diarrhea. But is that really the problem? No, that is the body responding to what is within. But many times what we do is we take particular drugs which, number one, will terminate the symptom. So you are diarrheaing, instead of treating the disease that is within the system, you stop the symptom. Now allow me to give a second example. I was in class when I was a first year, and it was a class of anatomy. I actually give this example to many friends. It was a class of anatomy, and the professor uh, was demonstrating about painkillers, I remember. So he was explaining on how painkiller helps to relieve what? Pain. So he was giving that example from the structure of the neurons. Now, for those who are best in the biology class, you understand that the body receive some signals with using a sensory what?
Okay.
Nerves, and then it transmits to the motor or the motor neurons, through which the mind is going to do reaction to respond to it, and that's how you come to feel that you have some pain in a particular place. So if I have, for example, a problem in the body, always the first symptom will be what? Headache. So that means the body has sensed that there's somewhere there's a problem. And therefore, when the sensory neuron has received that information, it sends the information to where? To the mind. The mind now transform that message or interpret, and then we have headache. So what we do is we take painkiller. Now back to class when I was being given the example by the professor, I said this. Now there is a junction which we call the synopsis.
Sure.
Now, the chemical that is found within the painkiller, when it has been broken down, it has to go to that junction. It
The
has to be
synapses.
the synapses. It has to be transformed. It has to be transported through that synapses. So what happens? So the chemical will now destroy that bridge between the sensory neuron and
Right.
the motor neuron, which directs us to the brain. So the result will be what? It will cease this response from being transmitted, the end of it all being received by the mind. So the head will terminate, but the problem really is where? Is there. You have not solved the problem. So when we say the laws of health are supposed to help us restore the system, is simply this. Now, God has created man with an ability, not a man, actually the body itself, with an ability to restore itself. For example, if you cut yourself, there will be what? Blood flowing out. So what will respond? What will happen?
Platelets will come to
Yes.
clot.
Then that tells you body has an healing mechanism by itself. So the best doctor you can ever have, it is to trust your body. But you have to do something. It is number one, helping the body to restore itself. That's number one. Then number two, you have to do something by removing any cause that was perhaps the reason why that disease
Is there.
developed. That's why I said disease is not supposed to be an enemy to us. It's supposed to be a friend. When it has knocked at your door, it will tell you that something has gone wrong. Do what? Correct. So, let me give an example. I have succumbed to, for example, a common cold. So, it's viral, for example. Now, as a person who understands the physiology, there's only one thing that will ring to my mind. My immunity has done what?
Has gone low.
Has gone down. Therefore, what I'm supposed to do is this. It is to do something that will boost what?
Your
My
immunity.
immunity. So I am not supposed to be afraid that I have homa. No, I'm supposed to actually appreciate my body because it is responding to what has happened. So therefore, that means for you to have, for example, that cough, your immunity has gone raw, and therefore, we call them opportunistic what? Infections has taken over.
Sure.
So what you need to do is number one, boost immunity. So using the laws of health, how can we boost immunity?
Using fruits.
Using fruits, in general, that means eating a well-balanced what? Diet. That's an example, number one. So therefore, when we speak about the laws of health, we are speaking about the 8 principles in which the body naturally responds to bring restoration. I want to give my viewers a very simple statement that I want you to keep in your mind wherever you'll be. Nature will always respond to nature. So the laws of health, which are the laws of nature, once they have been corrected, nature that is sick will always respond to it. So allow me to give you the principles of health, the 8 one I've been mentioning. Number one, it is very, very fundamental, nutrition. While for those who are writing, you can write it down, it is New Start. So write that acronym, New Start. So N stand for nutrition. Nutrition is what comes to your system. Now, human beings, are made by what they do. What they eat. Go to the Maasai people. They are very, very, very. We say that they are very furious people. And which description can I use so that I cannot be offensive to people? Uh, there is a way they have a spirit that is high tempered. It's from on their lifestyle.
Environment, that is.
What they take into the body, what they eat. It's because a man is made by what you eat. How is that? Now, life of a man is where? Is in the blood. So if life of a man is in the blood, now blood is made from where? By what you eat. So if your blood is healthy, that means you're what? Healthy. So very, very important. If I want to be healthy, I have to ensure my body has been given healthy blood by eating a healthy food. And that's why it's not always advisable to eat junky foods, because number one, how is it going to help your blood? And if it's not going to help your blood, that means there's no neutral ground. It's going to make your blood to be dirty. Therefore it becomes a very good bleeding ground for what? Disease. Well, I can speak about many things about nutrition, but allow me to go to the second principle of health. The second principle rather, is exercise. Well, this is one place whereby most of us, we may be found wanting, because we are too busy to do exercise. Now, exercise is making your body to be what? Active. When your body is active, that means your blood circulation is good. Therefore, blood is moving to all extremes of the body. And therefore, it becomes a very important fundamental principles of health when somebody is healthy or whether sick, to do a small exercise that is convenient to that person. But again, we have to guard to the extreme part of it. Perhaps that I'm going to speak about it when I'm going to refer to another principles of health. I'm not going to do exercise that is too much actually. So we have that principle of health because it is new start. So we are in W. W is what? Water. Now, I want to tell my medic friends and those who are watching this that we are afraid of smoking in causing what we call